everybody. It is Mr. Lundquist. It has been a long time since I have done a podcast. I figured it's end of December. We're getting into 2023. There's a lot going on. There's been quite a bit happening in the building. We also have a pretty important month coming up. So I thought I'd jump in, say hello, and give you a little rundown. I hope everyone's having an amazing holiday season here. It's nice to have that kind of Christmas, or the holiday earlier in the break, so we get to enjoy this week. So hopefully you've been able to stay warm and enjoy this new year coming up. So while we jump in here, we got a couple things to go over today. We are going to talk about some recent activities, just highlight some of the great things happening here in the building. I know that I can't list all of them, so know that I apologize if I'm missing some, but just try to show really how busy this building has been. We're going to talk a little bit about I'm going to say finals. I'm going to put those air quotes because not everybody gives finals. It's actually becoming a little less and less, and so we'll talk about what that week will look like specifically. We're going to talk about the course selection process for next year. We are already picking courses for our 23-24 school year, so I'll talk about what that will look like. We'll go over. I'll show you a little bit of the course handbook, and we'll talk about that. I'll give a little attendance reminder. We need to pick our attendance up. It's been lagging a little bit, especially with our 12th graders. So we'll talk a bit about that. And then we'll look ahead to some items coming up and wrap up. So thanks for joining me here today again. December was a really busy month. Obviously, it's short, but it's very busy. Our music department comes off of, it's incredible. I mean, it's marching band season and it's pep band season. They do an amazing job with the Veterans Day concert. And then all of a sudden they jump in, they've got their holiday concerts. And so they were doing a great work recording, getting ready for that. Had some fantastic performances in December. Our choir was even on, I believe it was NBC 15 on Christmas Eve. You have the opportunity to watch that. They prepared and did a lot of work to get around for that. So they were super busy, and my gratitude goes out to our music department for all the hard work that they were doing during this season. Now they're jumping into solo ensemble, so it is just one thing after another. But once again, that reputation this building has, this community has to support music is truly remarkable. We've had basketball games going on, girls and boys, really busy. Yesterday, because today is Wednesday, yesterday our girls were in Wanakee. Today our boys are actually traveling to Winona to take on a little holiday tournament, which is nice to get back on the swing of those things. It's been since 2013 since they've been at this tournament, or 2014. But it's a good one. It's a good chance to see some different teams, connect with some old teams they've played before. So good luck to the boys for that. We've had the gymnastics meet and wrestling meets just continuously really picking up. And seeing the success of that team really has been fun. As they travel around, we had a wrestling invite here at the high school. We've got the swim team was at a sock invite this over break. Our esports team was at state competing in their fall season state. There's so much going on. We have a toy show coming up here. That our FFA fundraiser coming. Actually, believe it's the weekend of the 7th, if I'm right. So again, a huge toy show. Please come out for the toy show. It's a great cause to support FFA. So again, I know that I'm missing stuff. DEC is busy. Student council is doing great work. Saga is doing a bunch of great work meeting. I mean, it has been busy. It's a very busy time. And again, it's so nice to be back in the swing of these this fall kind of winter time. So now I'm going to jump into a little bit about our finals week. And so what that looks like is it's the week of the 16th, 17th, 18th, or the 17th, 18th, 19th. 16th, we don't have school. And so it will just be kind of a normal, it's a day off. It's a day of professional development. And really then what it comes down to is on the 18th and 19th, and that's kind of where I'm going to focus on. These are the 2 days that we've got honed in on our, what I would call finals, right? Not everybody gives finals, and that's why the schedule looks like a B or a BA actually. But we swapped a couple things because I'll give you a reason why. Not everybody does finals, and it's really important that we have our students here. And so if in A-B day, a second period actually happens twice. And so replace the second period with student wellness. And again, this is like coloring and meditation and yoga, gym, art, drawing, coloring, relaxing, reading, like just getting the mindset ready for, if you have finals, it's good to get that mind and that body ready. So that will actually open up on the 18th. Then it'll be a normal stat. Then we'll go 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th. The next day we go with that first period stat, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and then we finish the advisory on the 19th. There's a number of reasons for that. We've got about 25 to 30 seniors graduating a semester this year, and we need to get them to hand in Chromebooks, hand in textbooks, hand in books, but also we have students who take semester courses with materials. We got to make sure that we do a little inventory check, and then our amazing librarian needs to make sure we have all the books in there, and so Kim Hillary does fantastic work in there. Be tracking and watching, monitoring. She's already reached out to those students graduating early. Get your things in, because the farther you get away from that, the harder it is. And make sure that we hold that diploma in June, because you don't get till June early graduates as long as we don't have items. And so, really, what this is if you have finals, great. You'll be taking them during this chunk. If you don't, teachers have things planned. All students are required to be here. This is not like if you don't have finals, you can leave. Lunch and find lunch and study hall, it runs the same. If you're a freshman, sophomore, you need to be here. Junior, senior, if you're failing, I'm telling you, you want to be here because you're trying to get that grade up, because on the 20th, which is a Friday, a half day, if you're failing, you need to be here that morning. And what you're going to do is you're going to get an email earlier in the week or saying, look, you need to be here on the 20th because you have an F and we need to get you over the hump. And so you'll be, during that time, hopefully finish up some work, redo a test, finish a project, have a conversation, hand in a paper. We want to get you over that finish line. And that 20th is going to be dedicated to those students who can get over that finish line. You don't want to miss the credits with an F. You don't want to find yourself behind, having to retake a math class or English class or a science class or not get that elective credit, because you got to get to that 24. So between now and then, hopefully over break, you're cranking away, getting some stuff ready to go. Because the 20th is just for those students who are failing and can get over the finish line. So really get there, right? That's my biggest push. So you want to be here for stat. You're going to need to be here for stat to get across that finish line. So again, the days kind of run rules as typical as they are. All students here all the time. We're not doing anything extra, anything special, except for that 20th, that half day for those who are failing. So I guess the short of it is, if you don't want to be here on the 20th and you want to have a long weekend, pass your classes. Get across the finish line, get done what you need to, and you don't need to be here. And then, you can focus in on second semester. We have course registration coming up, and before I actually hop into that, right, this course handbook literally fresh off the press yesterday. And so we have, a couple changes in here. We have a great addition in music to America's Music, which is going to be a fantastic course. I would highly recommend students to check it out. I think it's going to be a great addition to the music department. They did some tweaking and kind of really slimmed down what they're doing, but hopefully provide some options that students can take, right? So you don't have to be in band or choir to take America's Music. So we have beginning guitar, America's Music. So we've done some good things there. We've got that journalism class going into a second year. One of the things that we're really excited about is a change that I want to thank the board for approving is we no longer will have the course that's called physical science. Now, there's a physical science graduation requirement. That's not the course, that's the type of science. And there are certain courses that are within that. Physics and chemistry are some of those. So what it does is now as a freshman, as a bio, now as a sophomore, you have to decide between chemistry and physics. There is no more of this physical science. We felt like it wasn't challenging enough. It wasn't equitable. There's a variety of reasons that we advocated to get rid of this course, because we know every single student can access physics and chemistry. And so those will be the options for sophomores as they come out of bio. So know that that's a really exciting change. But what's going to happen is here, I'm going to go a little bit through our course process. On Monday, January 9th, and actually the 3rd or 4th, students will have a digital copy. Not much will be talked about, but this will be made available digitally, and actually I'll send this out digitally to families as well. Again, this has course descriptions. It's got talks about graduation requirements. It talks about the policies. This is a book you really want to get to know. This is what you can reference. There's a lot of opportunities to see, like, what do I need to be taking? What prerequisites do I need? You really should be looking at your 4-year plan and letting that guide your work. So January 9th, information will be handed out to students. Course registration opens up. That's in Infinite Campus. Now, there will be a paper form we want you to fill out, because that's where you're going to put your backups in. It's where we go back. If something doesn't work out, we reference back to. So the paper form is really important, but Infinite Campus is really where it's going to be at. Right, the week of January 16th is really when things start to kick off. Advisors and counselors will be able to talk check on. Each advisor will actually pulling students in from their advisory, looking at Infinite Campus to make sure they've got everything picked out right. Sometimes we make mistakes when we put courses in, like we do the same course twice, or we sign up for the wrong thing. So we got to make sure that that's double checked. So that will be happening the week of the 16th and the following week as well. February 3rd, it's a Friday, is the last day students can input schedules in Infinite Campus. Get it done before then. We start making schedules, we're then picking classes for you, and you may not get the options you want. So again, get it done before February 3rd. Take a look at this. There's going to be other resources. There's a slideshow from each department that you can take a look at. Talk to your teachers, talk to your advisors. What courses should you be taking? What should you be looking at? Looking at your 4-year plan, what is going to set you up for success, whether it's going to go to college, tech school, military, work. What is going to put you in the position to have everything you need, and what's something that you want to challenge yourself with, explore. It's always what I love about freshman year of college. They make you take courses. You're like, why am I taking these gen eds? Because it forces you to get out of your comfort zone. You got to be able to step out of that comfort zone. So I recommend and I suggest really jumping out of there. In February through May, that's when I start building the schedule. That's when I'm taking requests. I'm working with departments, how many sections we need, who's teaching what, where students should go, how big the classes should be. That's when we start making those decisions. Then in August is actually when it's finally cleaned up and you'll be getting your schedule. So it seems like a really long time, but I'm telling you, building a schedule is a lot of work. There's a lot of moving pieces, whether it's new staff coming and going, making sure that we've got courses at the right time. So there's not, right, we try to spread out our AP courses, make sure that music isn't running this. Maybe we look at trends and like, oh, all these music students take this. Well, we shouldn't have that course running at the same time as music, because they won't get it. So realize that there's a lot of details and things that go into building a master schedule. It takes months to do. So again, here's the timeline of what it looks like. And so just be mindful of that, we'll be going through this. Important reminders when picking courses, you got to select 7 courses a semester. You cannot pick 2 study halls. That's not where we've gone beyond that. You have stat every single day. And actually, I'd prefer you to pick a full load. Yes, there'll be some classes you won't get, so you'll be forced into a study hall at times, especially our freshmen, sophomores, because we prioritize seniors. But you have stat daily. You even have advisory time where you're getting some work done. There's honestly not really a need to be picking, especially 2 study halls. Now, there are students who are doing youth apprenticeship. There are students who are doing fire academy. There are students who are, doing early college credit or some things off site. Still, right? Still pick the course you know you're going to take, because there's a process to that. And as you get farther into kind of picking youth apprenticeship, we'll work on that, but make sure you pick all the courses you want. We really prefer you to pick 8 courses a semester, have a full load. You have a study hall and stat every single day. You don't need to be taking 2 study. Well, that's why we're not going to let you take 2 study halls, or I should say, let you sign up for 2. And I'd really recommend that you do really try to get 8 in there. Make sure you understand what your 4-year plan is. Take a look at what you need. Like I said before, make sure you're understanding your plan, your process, and what's going to put you in place to be successful. Talk to people, look at the resources. Don't just be picking classes because your friends are, oh, I like that teacher. What if the content isn't something you're interested in? And I love that people love our teachers. I think it's fantastic they have those relationships. But in the end, colleges, military, tech school, jobs are looking at the courses you took and the path you took. They're not looking at the teacher name. And so put yourself in a position to have the information, the knowledge, and the expertise coming out of high school to be successful. And not all the classes will be satisfied. So make sure your backup's legit. And by satisfied, I mean, you might put a schedule together that, oh man, but you're a sophomore, and all of a sudden a bunch of seniors wanted that. So now you don't get into that ceramics class or that foods class. Make sure your backups are something that you're willing to take a try and fit, because that's how we want to make sure you have the best schedule possible. So as we refine this process, we really want to get better and have students being very intentional, and families, we need your help with that. So that's coming up in January. It's a big process. It's a big part for next year. The more accurate, the more diligent we get now, the less changes and stuff we have to do in the fall. Attendance. We need you here. Yes, this is in red. And seniors, this is probably mostly for you. If you want to walk at graduation, at the ceremony, at Alliant Energy Center at 3 p.m. on that Sunday, you got to be here. You can't be truant. We will hold to that policy. We've done it before. Since I've been here, probably 4 or 5 students here can't walk across the stage. You get your diploma later, but you don't get to enjoy that. And so you got to be here. every single class on time. If you're at a class for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that's an absence. One period, that's an absence. You need to be here. Senioritis kicks in, I understand that. Stat is still an attendance you have to be at. So seniors, you got to be here if you want to walk at graduation. You're going to get this reminder a lot. I don't want anybody telling me that, well, you didn't tell me. No, we're telling you. And it's been a policy. It's something we've enforced before, and I share it every year at senior meetings, and we'll do it at our senior meeting at the beginning of second semester. The rest of the students, it's also just important to be here. When you're here, we can literally, there's a correlation. When you're here, your grades are better than when you're not here. I mean, that's just, it's really simple. I don't need to pull months and years and national data. That's the truth. And so be here, be in attendance, be at class, focused, engaged, and you'll be fine, right? So again, there's kind of my soapbox on attendance. We need you here. Looking ahead, right? January 16th, no school. I talked about that. And make sure I have that date right as I'm sitting here talking, making sure that that date is right. Yes, the 16th. Okay. January 20th is a half day. It's the last day of first semester. Again, it's at half days for those who are failing. The February 3rd is the last day, like I talked about before, to pick classes for next year. So do your research, talk to people in January, get that done. February 13th, it's an early release. Again, I know it's a little ways out, but I'm trying to get you to be thinking ahead. I do have on March 7th on here ACT, because that's one of those, it's like a weird day. It's a Tuesday. It's a very strange week that week, because there's also Thursdays parent-teacher conferences. And so there's really some kind of odd stuff that week. Or actually, no, that's later. Sorry, that's in April. But actually, you just need to make sure that March 7th is on your calendar as you're looking ahead, because yes, March 9th is parent-teacher conferences. So March 7th is ACT, 9th, 10th, 12th, you're not here. Also on the 9th of March, you're not here because there's parent-teacher conferences. It's just a funky week. There's also a makeup day in February on the 24th. So if we get another snow day, if we get 2 more snow days between now and the 24th, we'll be at school on the 24th. So just some things to be thinking about and looking ahead. Now, one thing I don't have on here that I really want to impress upon students and parents to kind of understand is that, we have these cell phone lockers in classrooms. Some teachers are using them first semester. Maybe some got away from it. Some didn't get them. What we're finding is students are back to disengaging a little bit. And so I'm going to put this out there now, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to see second semester, because a lot of courses change. People change teachers and change courses to make sure we maximize student choice. You're going to run into some classes where it's going to feel different again. Like, oh, I can't have my cell phone out. I got to put it in the locker. I got to put it in my backpack. Yeah, we really need students to engage. We don't want to have to go to the route of no cell phones allowed at any point, right? Old school. And the whole, like, I need to get a hold of my kid, right? You can always call the office. You can always call the office. Old school, like we used to. So the whole, I need to get a hold of my student immediately. You can always contact the office. And so I just really want to press upon you. Second semester, it's going to be tightened up, and I support my teachers in the work they do. I don't want to hear this argument about cell phones. Put them away, focus on the work. And I do also want to put a little plug in when people are calling in, if you do need to get a hold of your student or at any point. We had a snow day in early December, and it was something that, right, it gets decided not here at the high school, yet there were people, and there were families who called in and were extremely disrespectful and rude to our admin assistants here in the office. And I just find that really hard. These are not people who, right, they don't make these decisions. They're just answering the phone. We passed an operating referendum and to try to give them a raise because they are so underpaid and they're amazing, working hard. I just ask that you call and be respectful to these admin assistants in our main offices. They work tirelessly to make sure this building is running smoothly, answering phones and supporting the work that gets decided, generally not by them, but by other people that they then have to support. So I was disappointed to hear that people were disrespectful, rude, and pushing back on people who had nothing to do with that decision making. So again, when you call in, I just ask that you give some love and support those admin assistants in these main offices, whether it's at the high school or anywhere else. They're working their tails off. They're working extra hours, doing all they can to make sure this building runs okay. And it's tough when you get a lot of people kind of pushing back on you for something you had no control over. So again, call the attendance line for attendance. Be here. If you need to get a hold of your student, you can call in. I know I kind of took a tangent there, but it's something that's been on my mind. I was pretty disappointed that I heard that people were pretty disrespectful and rude to our admin assistants on the phone. It actually made me quite upset that day, because that's not what they deserve, and they deserve better. And I know this community can do better. So thank you so much. I really hope that you had some information here that was important. I know this is a long one, but there's a lot of really important stuff coming up in January with the with course registration and finals at high school. Really, it's a big time. So if you have questions, reach out. You can always get a hold of myself, Lisa, or Colleen. Email address is here. You can always give us a call too. But just want to say thank you for all you do. Thank you for the support as we finish off this first semester and jump back into second semester. We're excited to have you back here, but please enjoy that new year and enjoy this week. Thanks so much. Bye.